'Cause that's the way things happen on the Polar Depress.
All aboard.
Choo, choo. I was using my inside voice.
I guess, yeah, I was all aboard. Maybe not the greeting anymore because people are starting to deboard the train.
Well, they haven't. Well, no, they got back on the train in this one, so all aboard works for this segment still. But soon,
How does it feel to be approaching the end of our journey?
you know the kind of feeling when you get to the end of a long trip and you're going, "Was it all worth it? What did it all mean? What does anything mean?
What does anything mean?
Why is anything for?"
Well, let me punch into your ticket. Tick, 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 tick. It says podcast. That's weird.
I didn't want to learn that. What?
I already knew that, Santa.
It really has showing off your party trick vibe with him. Watch me do my ticket work.
Yeah. Oh, this is a lovely business card. Tick, 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 tick. Okay, you can't read any of it now.
This is why I don't go to the close-up room at the Magic Castle. Hard pass.
We had the full spectrum of tones here. We had kind of a comedy tone as they were getting on the plane, the train car rather, and then sort of the whimsy of the ticket punching, and then the despondency of I lost the gift that Santa gave me. Another beat of hopelessness. There's been a lot of that for these kids.
Hole in the pocket hopelessness.
Oh dang, Chekhov's hole.
And but at that point also, he could hear the bell. Because he believed, so he didn't hear a bell falling out of his... I mean, come on.
He forgot so quick what the bell sounds like.
Maybe that's why the ticket had to remind him.
Right. You've lost your totem.
It's not believing, kid. Sorry, you lost the bell.
It's just a early Ted Lasso reference is what it is.
Oh my gosh. Could he be a young Ted Lasso?
I'm sure Mandark is on that team somewhere.
I mean, I know one of those elves had a Ted Lasso mustache.
God, this movie would have been improved by a Hannah Waddingham for sure.
No,
that's
the conductor is Ted Lasso. He's got the Ted Lasso mustache.
He does.
Maybe this is what Ted Lasso goes to after season 1, or the current season, when he doesn't come back for the new season they just announced.
He just decides he needs to find people that believe.
Yeah.
That's got to be his purpose. Soccer's not his game anymore.
And I got my ticket work down.
I imagine him starting a soccer team with just an intramural team with some of the elves.
They're not allowed anything recreational or fun.
Not anything outdoor, but like there's got to be a sport court out there.
Oh, I thought you meant like there's an underground soccer league.
No. We have reindeer fights. Yeah. Well, there got to be reindeer games.
That's all the reindeer game. That's what happened to Rudolph. That's why Rudolph is missing.
They knocked his lights out in a boxing match.
I'm trying to save you from the reindeer games, Rudolph. Don't you understand? You don't want none of that.
It was a foggy Christmas Eve, all right.
It's not that I didn't want to let you play. It's I didn't want you to get hurt.
What else? I feel like most of what we pulled out of the advent calendar today was ticket punching sort of hijinks.
Ticket punching and disappointment, I think, is what we really pulled out at the sense of just festive holiday ennui.
Yeah. Which, I mean, is not the emotion. Like, I feel part of what is so depressing about the Christmas season is the pressure to be sort of uplifted all the time. I imagine, like, I know that's not, that's a fairly common feeling of like, oh God, I gotta be decking the halls all the time. I can't be that jolly. Oh. And certainly this movie paints an accurate portrait of that kind of feeling. Yeah, I think Charlie Brown did it better, but
why don't we overwork the themes like they overwork the movie? So like the tickets when he was punching him and they were all not reading them correctly really speaks to the fact that, sometimes you misinterpret and don't understand in the moment what things should mean, and it takes you a moment to fully appreciate and understand that it's not lead, it's lead.
Sometimes it's your expectations that let you down, you know?
Also, why would that be your first go-to when you read that is lead?
Yeah, the girl gets, not leader, her ticket's punched and it says lead. And she's like, it says lead. And he's like, it could also say lead, as in leadership. And she's like, oh! And then she hops onto the train, like, sure.
Or that you led us straight to hell, you jerk.
I wanted to see just one shot of them carting all the defunct toys out of the defunct car, but for all we know, that's still in play.
Maybe that's the lie of recycling that we tell us all about. Maybe that was what they were trying to teach us, is that no,
Yeah.
they're not actually getting recycled. We just tell you that.
We just chuck them into the sea and just hope that they freeze.
In that endless sea that surrounds the polar town.
Yeah. Where do you think it's where they get the bungees for those bungee cable and elves that saved
all those
the tea tapper.
marionettes.
Yeah.
It's a continually weird, upsetting vibe that this film puts out when it comes to what it's trying to say about anything.
It gives you something like nice and sort of wholesome and Christmassy, and then just cuts it with like a thick layer of disappointment. And that's a choice they have made.
Now, so the ticket punching and the word and all that, is that part of the story and what you flip through? Like, do you see any ticket punched or any words like that or anything that leads, or is it just, or is the big capper like, the thing I learned most of all was to believe, and they took that and ran with it?
They did. I believe the child does lose a Christmas bell. Let me see. Santa handed the bell to me. I put it in my bathrobe pocket. The conductor helped me down. Santa shouted to his reindeer, cracked his whip. The team went forward into the sky. And then the next page across from this description of Santa taking off is what looks to be a disappointed John Hodgman baby being consoled by the children around him in the car. So they don't explicitly say, oh no, I lost my bell, until the next page. We're back inside the Polar Express. The children asked to see the bell, reached in my pocket. It was gone. Let's hurry outside and look for it. But the train started moving. And then in the next page, he's home. When the train reached my house, I sadly left the other children. But I think that's what we're opening in the Advent calendar tomorrow.
I think part of the problem is I think it's wrong to set up sort of Chekhov's hole in this. Like, I think it would have been a better thing to him just to discover, like, you didn't already know in your head that he had a hole in that pocket. Which they established earlier. Like, I think it would have been better if it was just like, I went to go reach for the bell to show them, and wait, there's a hole in my pocket now.
Yeah.
Like the magic had to escape. It burned the hole. It's like the Sankara stones in Temple of Doom. We're back.
The hole in the pocket is not in the book, so they just invented like, well, why would he have lost Santa's bell after he went all that way?
So he must
have torn his pocket when he left to get on the train. So they chose to set up Chekhov's hole.
Yeah,
because that's one of the few little morsels they get from the source material.
But that's another one of the overwrought moments in this that just feel like you thought about this too much and not enough.
I mean, it's one of the sadder frames in the original book. Like, he's got his head down like George Michael style, like George Michael Jr. Just like chin to chest, like, oh, my bell. But that's
before they ask him for the bell. Like, he's already sad back on the train then, because it's the next page when he reaches for the bell, right? And discovers it's gone.
I think I'm looking on archive.org. I think
maybe they're out of sequence.
I think it's maybe out of sequence. Yeah.
Got it. So the text is not aligned with the images.
Yeah, it definitely appears the children on what I looked at as the next page are looking towards what would be a center if the boy was in the fold. Yeah.
So that makes more sense for sad John Hodgman.
Yeah.
To be disappointed that he lost. Also, just for theme-wise, like, I think it would have been the reveal of the hole punch messages.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean anything in that moment. Like, I think it'd be better if you just punch the words from the beginning, and then you learn through the course of it why those words that he punched were important. Like, hey, that's the thing you needed to do, was to find your way to believe. But he dismisses at the beginning, like, believe? What the heck? He punched believe into my ticket? And the girl's like, lead? What the heck does lead mean?
Well, and then the detail of when little John Hodgman, Arthur Dent boy, goes to put the ticket in his pocket and it begins to disappear as he's doing it, as they're pulling away. So Tom Hanks has positioned himself in this story as like, he's Santa Claus, but Santa doesn't have a major part in the story because he's got to go have a major part in the Christmas of it all. And so he's invented every way that he can, like, I'll deliver them. Like, the children don't get to leave with a present except for this one boy who lost his present. Yeah, but I will deliver to them the message
no
that
one's going to believe anything you saw here.
You saw nothing.
Also, I don't know why I made him Peg Leg Pete.
I mean,
Why, it's your grave, Ebenezer.
Could he be Brian Blessed for a moment?
Why, it's your grave, Ebenezer. I don't know why I went straight to the same line that Pegleg Pete did, but sure.
No, that's great.
I haven't done a Brian Blessed voice in a long, long time.
Can I hear Brian Blessed saying the true spirit of Christmas is in your heart?
The true spirit of Christmas is in your heart.
I'm going to put that back into the Advent calendar where we pulled the clip out today. I'm going to keep that one.
Okay, good. Well, let's see what we have now that we've had a disappointed child sitting on a train with no bell.
It can only go up from here. This is surely his lowest point.
Choo-choo.
Choo-choo.
'Cause that's the way things happen.